Hello, everybody. It's Monday night, and we're going to play some Kingmaker, I think. Just a little. Welcome to session number 21. How shall you be remembered? On last week's episode, a lot kind of happened where you came back to Restov, and, the celebration of you taking down the Stag Lord was kind of short-lived when you encountered Yoshimitsu's aunt on the outskirts of town, and learned that there was a certain prophecy that involved each of you without your knowledge. Now all of these different characters are at play. A lot of familiar faces came from the shadows, some of which just seemed familiar to you because they looked like someone you knew. Some of them were family members or people that are like family. Yes?
What?
Was that to get my attention?
Oh, sorry. I asked him to grab me a spoon. I thought he was muted.
That's okay.
My headset was supposed to be muted.
You're good.
Sorry.
And today we're going to learn a little bit about starting your first settlement and how Kingmaker works with the kingdom, because it's basically like making another character where it has different stat blocks and different resources that it uses, and there are these things called kingdom turns where we will play through the events of 1 month time, and based on your different roles that you play in the kingdom, you make different decisions of what's going to happen. Whether you're expanding your kingdom, whether events are occurring, all different kinds of things can happen. But today we're going to create the kingdom. We're going to do some reintroductions because you guys are spending 2 weeks in Restov. The Notan Society is staying on the outskirts of town, so you can feel free to talk with them or use them. They kind of gave you some breathing distance because Kimiko saw that it was overwhelming to everybody, especially seeing it on Yoshimitsu's face and realizing that all of these different things are involved without you guys really being a part of the decision making. So she was like, we haven't asked you what you wanted, so it's giving everybody the time to really think about how they want to proceed. At this point, Amiri, Lindsay, Valerie, and any of the other NPCs that you've run into, the companions, they've kind of joined you in town as well. You're staying at local inns. The celebration was really short-lived, maybe the first couple of days where there was kind of some time for that, but then once everything settled, you kind of fell into these routines on a day-to-day basis. I'm going to play out just a scenario with each of you guys, then we'll build the kingdom and play out like you guys discussing together. Feel free to jump in anytime that you want to role play or be a part of anything, and I think that's what we're going to do mostly today. I don't have any strict encounters planned today because the kingdom is a new thing for us all to learn together, and I'll go over how I think that I want to use it because I'm not going to go so far into it that we're all having to use Excel spreadsheets to keep track of our resources. That seems like a lot. I don't want to do all that. So we'll talk about how we want to do that too.
A lot of the things for Kingdom is tracked in this.
That's good.
So we don't have to learn Excel. Even though I've been needing to learn Excel at work.
Null snaps their fingers. Oh man. No, I don't want to bring.
Don't you have a fucking Excel spreadsheet that's Genshin related? No, I think the point has been proven.
Alright, so let me unpause the game and start you guys on this scene so that you can shop while we're also doing the different roleplay things.
There's all the basic stuff from Player Core 1, 2, and the GM Core. So it doesn't have a lot of things, but it's...
You guys are also not, very far along yet, so you're not going to be getting magical weapons and stuff like that yet. There's a thing that as soon as your settlement levels up, the ability to get magic items and different things in your shops in your town also levels up, so you'll be able to get those things as we go along.
I also sold all the treasure that was in the stash, so we don't have to worry about that. We got 2,000 gold in the stash.
So feel free if you want to stock up on some basic things. There's some basic goods, magic items, and alchemical stuff. You can click on the shops that are up there. And then each of you, if you could roll a d20, and that's going to decide who's going to go first with the roleplay social stuff.
Restov alchemicals rolled a 3. Oh.
2.
Somebody roll a 1. I should probably start with that 6 there.
Do you want that 3, or do you want to roll again? It doesn't really have any bearing. I'll go through each of your things.
No, it's fine. I don't care.
Can I have send from Olga and Ilva? Just roll a d20 for me.
She got up.
Oh.
I don't know about you. I don't know what you is doing. Oh god.
Ding.
Here, I'll roll for her.
As long as it's not above a 10. Alright.
It is 9.
So, Bon, we'll start with you. We'll go highest to lowest. I want you to consider, like, how is Bon spending their day-to-day? Now that they can take a little bit more leisure time, that we're not worried about being hunted down, we're in a settlement, we're in a town. I also want you to maybe introduce how things have been updated for yourself. Like, do you carry yourself in a different way? You have different things that you're wearing, jewelry that you've picked up, all that kind of stuff. What might characters see on a day-to-day basis with Bon? Mm-hmm. Interesting. So, yeah. So with Bon, I want to say that I want to ask this of each of you. In the middle of the town square of Restov, where you are, there is this fountain and a plaque dedicated to the founders of Restov, and it says, "Indeed, this is our most important question. Because for this fleeting moment, when all parties depend on each other for their success, we have the choice of our destiny in our grasp." And it says unknown underneath. Might be something that you pass by every day, but does Bon have any thoughts about what's going on and like the thought of starting a kingdom, like all of this stuff that's now come out? Does he? All right. And with that, you get a knock at your inn door, your bedroom that you've been using.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Tramps, you're muted for your stream.
Okay.
I don't
There
know
we go.
why it's always Monday.
It just doesn't like Mondays. It should be fine
Just
now.
another Monday. All good. All right, so they heard the knock door,
Bond will.
and you were putting your hood back up. Okay.
Yep, and Bond will answer the door.
On the other side, you'll see Valerie in more relaxed street clothes. They don't have the armor that they were wearing, and they immediately catch your multiple gazes underneath. They're bold enough to look directly where your eyes would be through the veil, and not many people will do that. It really does strike you that she is very beautiful, despite her efforts not to draw attention. But she knocks on the door, and she's carrying a small tray, and it looks like it has something, a sort of breakfast for you. Good morning, Bond. I'm sorry if I woke you up.
It is no trouble, I was already awake.
I brought you something. I asked to go to the kitchen behind the bar, and I said I was going to collect some ingredients. Little did they know I wouldn't have to do any cooking. And then she places down a plate of like different raw meats and things like that.
This is very kind of you. What brings this occasion about?
I was hoping that we could maybe talk a little bit more frankly.
Of course. Would you prefer to come in and the door shut?
Sure, I'll come in. But don't worry about anything. It's all good. All good things.
No worries at all.
She sets the tray down on your table. And please, you can eat if you'd like. I already had something.
I can hold off. I know it's rather unsettling for most, so...
That's the thing. Nothing about your appearance, your manner, or what you stand for bothers me. And I don't know you as much as I know many other people. But something tells me in my heart that perhaps was meant to meet you, and meant to learn something from you. I say all of this because I want to know more about who you are, what you stand for.
Now, that's a rather loaded question. Not the stand for, but who I am. Because I believe who we are is what we do. And our actions we show. And
You see
also-
her eyes kind of squint in thought with that.
And also for how people perceive us. For most, I know I rather look off-putting for most. And I think for my actions, I've shown that that I definitely have a goal in mind. Maybe some view it as good, some view it as bad, but it's something I've stuck to. But in terms of what I stand for, there is a corruption plaguing these lands. Curses, I suppose you could say. My drive is to eradicate them. It's what I think I've been created to do. Or maybe an accidental purpose found.
But nonetheless, a righteous one. Do you really think that you can succeed in ridding this land of something that just seems to be in the heart of most men?
No. Probably not. But I can at least lessen it. And in the end, that's all you can really do.
Then I hope you'll consider me a friend in that effort. Your cause is mine.
I'm very grateful to have your friendship then. I hope you rely on me as well, if you ever need.
You see, something you said struck me, that who you are is based on your actions. It seems to me that most people look at me and decide who I am before they even hear what I have to say, or have seen what I can do. I'm put into a role and assumed to be able to just do certain thing, to be beautiful. But I don't want to be beautiful. I want to do good. I want to do things that are beautiful.
And then do them. While it will be hard, I cannot vouch for others, because everyone wants to put everyone else in a box, try to label them. It's your goal to break the box and not care what other people have to say. And in the end, if you start more or less dropping what people have to say and letting it roll off and just focusing on what you want to do and what you think you should do, then that's all that matters.
She just nods, and she's like really absorbing what you're saying. And she looks outside, like turns towards the morning sun.
And
Yes. I'll try just that.
And don't forget, looks can also be used as an asset to do what you wish. You don't need to make them everything about yourself. You don't need to make them your whole personality. But that doesn't mean you also have to squander them away and not use them if they help you achieve your goals. Now, if they don't align with your goals, then you can feel free to ignore the asset. But I feel that we should use every possible advantage we can when we want to accomplish what we need to.
Maybe one day, Bon. And Valerie gets up. But today's not going to be that day.
And
It'll take me a little while to get used to that.
And that's perfectly acceptable. It's your life, no one else's.
Thank you. I'll leave you to your breakfast. She goes to start to leave, and then turns around. But not to put any weight on your mind, but this whole thing with the society, this prophecy. What do you think? Is it to be trusted? Are we to follow it?
I've never put my weight in fate. I feel people use fate as a justification for things. I think one should stay the course of what they wish to do, and if the so-called fate lines up with it, good. If it doesn't, then it can be disregarded. People are given free will to do as they wish. No amount of strings can control that.
You know, you should really write some of this down.
But then I wouldn't be as mysterious as I normally am, and that's less fun.
Right. And that's why I like you. You never seem to be bothered by the way that anybody sees you, and it's kind of nice. Refreshing.
Life is too short to fit ourselves inside boxes that others want us to fit us in.
And then she nods again and closes the door behind her, and allows you to enjoy your breakfast. Is there anything else that Bond wanted to talk to, or anything else that they'd want to do before I move on to somebody else?
I would say not. I think he's going to spend the time thinking about kind of what the society has been doing essentially with his name or his group, and it's making him ponder a lot. Because it's not often he hears what people do with the name unless it's rather atrocious, and then he handles that matter himself.
Next, we have two people that rolled 9, so I'm going to go alphabetical. We'll go with Olga if you're ready. I'd like you to reintroduce Olga. If she even chose to get new clothing with the money that you guys had, updated her look at all, is acting, has a daily routine. What kinds of things might the other characters see with Olga?
Damn, I don't actually remember. Oh, that I do. I'm a liar. Certainly she's no longer like cowering away the way she used to back in the ballroom or lounge room or whatever it was. Whereas like she would even break out into tears more often. But now she's more quiet. She is more nonchalant in a way. Whereas her usual activities consist, like if they don't have anything to do, she would be found mostly rolling around in grass, just like digging her hands and feet all up in the dirt, because that's where she's most comfy. So it's like at any point in this time where they're all like, relaxing, there's no like threat around, she would find a nice grassy patch to sit on and just relax in. Regarding her looks, it's like, no, she doesn't really like buying other clothes. She would still wear the same dress she would have that she started in. Very, at this point, it's very tattered at the bottom, even dirty at some point. But it's like, as long as it's not fully ripped up, she sees no reason to replace it just yet, unless she needed to. Her skin was definitely more of a sickly grayish tone when she started out, but ever since merging with dirt, it's now probably feels a little more, there's more green tint to it. There is, it's like her lilac eyes would definitely have like when you take a picture, you see the red dot in there. There's definitely some hint that she's definitely merged with Faye. And she's like no longer cowering away from these males. More like being standoffish, if that makes sense. Ever since merging with dirt, there's just like something that clicked in their head. It's like, oh, I don't feel the fear anymore, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, why? It's like, why should I? It's like dirt's taking it away.
So her around strangers is going to be different based on the vibes that she's getting?
She's probably gonna be staring more, giving more of a creepy vibe, because she's just stares now around strangers that she doesn't know, because what is she gonna do? She's not gonna talk to them, nor is she gonna run from them. So she'll just settle on staring at them. until she can learn more, right? Because she's learning off of this group, interacting with them. It was like, oh, if they're fine with this person, then I should probably be fine too. You know?
Mm-hmm.
She's not making her own conclusions.
I like. Okay. So one of the days that you're spending, a nice, morning on the hill. Maybe the sun is finally the first signs of spring coming through. First nice days. You can maybe even see even the grasses coming back after the winter. And a familiar face comes around the hillside. Because we didn't really talk too much about the NPC, but we have some ideas. I've given her a name, but it's okay. We'll go through it now. So a woman you recognize from what you used to do and your work as a night worker, I guess you could say. I don't know what you would give your title to be. What would Olga say?
Or she'd probably just be blunt, just like, oh, prostitute.
Okay, so this was one of the other prostitutes that you knew as well that worked with you, one of the sex workers. And I'm gonna name her because this is the name that she's chosen for herself.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna be Fairy, spelled with Pherie. And then she draws it, of course, with the little heart over the eye.
Oh my god, she made herself a signature.
And then she comes around the corner. We can give her a different ancestry, but do you have an idea in mind of? Maybe we'll go through her and we'll role play her a bit, and then you can tell me what you think she looks like.
Oh, okay.
All right. So she comes around the hill and she's like, I thought I'd find you up here.
I didn't think I'd find you here.
I know. It was supposed to be Orchid. She had told me about this society that she had been kind of talking with. She said they were all so nice and they didn't look at her like the others. How they looked at us. You just see you as property. She kind of stares off for a second. But anyway, I want this to be happy. Because I know that she would be proud of you.
Huh? Why would she be proud? This was her dream.
Don't you realize what you just did? And then she kind of pushes into your shoulder. You just went out on an entire adventure, slept multiple days on the outside, and took down an entire robber baron, basically. Keeping yourself alive, even throughout that entire feat, is incredible. I admire that.
I think the biggest feat is learning to talk to people again. Because none of that really means anything to me right now. They warped our mannerisms to where we don't talk to people normally anymore.
Yeah. It is very weird trying to just learn how to be yourself again.
Well, did we even have selves? Or are we inventing them as we go?
I started when I was 7, 8. I don't even remember what I was like before that.
I think our lives are starting now. Because that place just wasn't real. Right?
It was real, Olga. What we went through was real, but it wasn't. It wasn't our fault, all the terrible things that happened. You know that?
Are you talking about Orchid?
Yes. Not to mention just the way that the clients were.
You want to know something? I left
Mm.
so that I can find that one particular man who was last seen with Orchid.
Are you
I
chasing
didn't find him.
revenge? Did you miss what I said?
You chasing revenge.
Yeah, are
That's
you
why I
chasing
stopped.
revenge?
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
I was. But now I don't feel anything.
In a good way.
In an unsure way. It's foreign. I can't quite place it.
Well, I have to say, from the outside looking in, you seem much more at peace now. And I think that's a good thing. And she kind of pushes back your hair behind your ear. You're as beautiful as they come, you know? Just like this hillside.
I think we all were. That's why I think we should bring them all back here. You know, the other girls?
You think they'd be let go? And what would they do?
If we can trample and take out a whole bandit camp, why can't we trample a brothel?
I like this new Olga, I have to say. Much more confident. She takes your hand. I really do hope we can.
I just think their beauty is wasted there. Right?
Yes, definitely. The whole field of flowers deserving to go find their field.
I'm glad you managed to get out, though. You're staying here, right?
I've kind of been traveling with the society, staying with Kimiko wherever we go. I don't really have a home to go to. She's very wise, very kind. Gets a little excitable sometimes, but I think she's good.
Do you?
I trust her. All of them have been very kind to me.
The yellow fox, he's on edge about her.
Well, she talks all the time about him. She is his aunt, after all.
Oh, he's weird then.
She's very proud of him, but I think that she has a tough time of saying and expressing that. I don't know. It's always us, night workers that know the most about people. All the people up there pretending to know what they're doing, and they're the worst at it. It's nice to hear your laugh again, too.
I kind of missed having someone. I kind of missed having a friend around.
Well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going with you, obviously, wherever you go.
They say they want to make a new village here. In fact, I think you can start over here. I think we can all start over here. And we can have our little stalls of fruits. Maybe even learn to make breads.
I could sell them the headscarves that I make.
See? Your knitting skills can come to fruition here.
We could get all the girls working there. It could be a bazaar of different creative things. You know, how we made makeup and clothes, different things to impress others, but now these can be things that we want.
See, we don't need papers or pens to be able to make and contribute to a village. I think all we need to do is learn to count, which we could do. We can count money really well. But
Anyway, are
Yeah.
you coming back to town? I can walk with you if you want.
no, I want to stay here a little while longer. I have been one with nature as of late. So the more I can get the sunshine in on me, the better.
Mm.
I am photosynthesizing.
Yes, you do that. Gosh, the way the wind goes through the grass on the hill. It is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Bye, Jimmy. And she pats Jimmy on the head.
You guys squeak, Jimmy.
And then she runs off, rolling down the hill.
This girl is definitely human with blonde hair and blue eyes because she sounds like a ray of sunshine. She's got nice tan skin too. We know it. We
No.
feel it.
Delete one of those texts. It accidentally gave you double.
What?
When you grabbed gold.
Mhm.
Wait, hold on.
No, it only
Did
gave
it?
me 476.
Oh, I don't know why. Never mind then. It fucking
It-
gave me double earlier.
Oh, it didn't for me, so we're good.
Is there anybody else that Olga wanted to talk to or get involved in before I move on to the next person? This can include each other too if you want.
Besides
Of course.
asking a question to Dirt, it's like how is Dirt feeling right now?
You haven't, since being back in town, felt as much of the connection. Every time the breeze goes by, you can kind of feel that she's present, but she hasn't kind of made herself known recently. The come and
Is it
go type
getting
of thing.
weaker?
Not that you could get the sense of the fact that the connection was a little bit weaker as you get closer to Restov, because you're far away from where she usually is at.
Oh, okay. That's my curiosity there, but you can move on as you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to move on to Ilva. I want you to reintroduce your character as well. What they would be doing, if they've updated their look at all, how they're spending their time, how the other characters would see their day to day.
Oh, sorry. Well, first of all, no, it doesn't really update or even change her look at all. She's still pretty much wearing her. If she's not wearing her armor, she's wearing like clothes that she wore. Back home. Sorry, my brain doesn't want to do words right now. Apparently.
It's okay.
So they probably stand out a little bit. I guess she probably tore like sorry, cat suddenly started like pushing against my foot. I don't know what that was. She's probably like torn the sleeves off because it's a bit warmer now, and she'd probably get hot.
Mhm.
So she has, the freaking grace of an angry bull, so she just kind of rips the sleeves off.
Leaves them in the street.
Pretty
Like
much.
I'll go kill something else when it gets cold again.
Pretty much. Otherwise, I mean, she'd be keeping her distance. She'd be probably keeping a wide berth, or giving a wide berth to Olga. She wouldn't approach her if Olga even she won't really even look at her, right? She doesn't really run away if Olga's walking wherever Olga's going is in her direction. She won't really leave, but she makes no effort to reach out to speak to her. And she also seems more reserved around Bond. But she otherwise would probably, you'd find her most of the time in a tavern or something. She's probably getting along with like soldiers and that kind.
Getting into bar fights.
I was gonna say possibly getting into fights depending on
Oh.
how the other people around behave.
Amiri is at these same bars, so there are going to be bar fights. So, despite you keeping your distance from other people, the one person that was there at the society, you probably have not been able to let leave your mind. Despite never seeing this person before, the eyes were unmistakably ones that you have seen before.
Yeah,
And
it nags at her and kind of annoys her. But like she also is hesitant to approach.
so, what race or ancestry was Rune?
Human.
Human? Okay.
Most
Do they
people
also
in the
have-
tribe were human.
Human, okay. So this is a particularly buff and large human. Even looks like they could have a bit of orc in them. Just because their stature, they're well over 6 foot, built very, 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 very much so. Various scars all across their body. They carried 2 giant axes on their back of their on their back. You've seen them about town. They just kind of are an imposing figure. They're kind of hard to miss. And every time you try to avert your gaze, and even if you do, you just catch those striking eyes of familiarity every time that they're in the same room or nearby or pass them in the street for these 2 weeks that you've been here. They don't ever approach you either. It seems that they're very much eyeing you up and keeping their distance from you.
If she meets their eyes, she probably bares her teeth. Kind of like a show of hostility. But she doesn't approach. She doesn't really care about their size. Honestly, she is either too self-confident or too stupid to be intimidated by it.
What you might notice most is the fact when you do that, if you ever bare your teeth, most people, even if they are tough, will have some sort of flinch or reaction to it, something that you might be able to pick up on, having fought many, many, many people before. You kind of know that there's like a flinch of that flight or flight response. It seems like it's like imperceptible in him. You can't even tell if he has any reaction at all. He just holds the gaze.
Okay. Well, that's quite a picture.
The only thing that you've ever heard him say was when you first learned about the prophecy. And you heard him whisper under his breath and left the room, stormed out right afterwards, said, "It was not supposed to be you." And he, walks out. And then you saw Tristan go running after them, trying to get them back. But they were gone. So now it just seems like they're watching you, keeping tabs on you. You're running into them a little bit more often than just by chance.
Okay.
But it might be hard to tell.
Yeah. Right. After probably, I don't know, a few days or maybe a week, depending on how obvious it is, she'd probably have enough after that, because especially if she heard that. Her patience would hit its end. I mean, she doesn't have a lot of patience. The fact that she's let it go that long is probably pretty spectacular for her, right? And I don't know where they would be, but she'd probably, like, if she was at a table or like at a bar, or if she was outside, like, she'd slam her hands on the table, or she's outside looking at something, or has something in her hand, she'd probably toss it down before snarling and approaching. And approaching him.
At this point, if it's, say this happens at one of the bars, he's like sitting there in the back corner, and he just lets you walk straight up, doesn't seem to move at all, and it's just looking straight at you.
He probably kicks a chair out of her way, like violently, probably hit somebody, or she might knock somebody out of their chair. Doesn't matter. Slams her hand on the table in front of him and snarls at him, just, "What the fuck is your problem?"
Well, you could have sat in that chair, but would you like to take another seat?
I want to know why you're everywhere. What do you want?
You see him slightly grit his teeth. I'd like to talk, if we're able.
She has a similar reaction, just kind of gritting her teeth. Why? What business do you have with me?
I see that we only have one shot at this. And he looks up at you, but it's almost as if it's straight on with you, because he's still so imposing even while sitting down in a chair. I take it that you're not dull enough to put two and two together. You know who I am.
I have no idea who you are. I know who you look like.
Then you know who I am. And he says that with a gruff voice. I'm just not very masculine, so I can't roleplay it. I'm going to try to make this work for the sake of the society. And I tried to prepare myself for your arrival. But seeing you and not him in your stead, I couldn't handle it. I lost myself. Something that I pride myself on never doing. Letting my emotions get the better of me.
You even know what happened to him? Who are you to him that you don't know?
I am his father.
She grits her teeth, baring them, and you can see there's just pure hostility in her eyes. Just anger and hatred.
For the first time, he just looks away from you, breaking the gaze. And then you see him put his hands in his face. Or his face in his hands. His hands in his face! He punches through his face. He puts his face in his hands.
He was abandoned! They found him in the forest alone!
And then he gets up and shouts, and the entire bar goes silent. And then and the table is totally thrown against the wall. He says, "Do you not think that I know this already?"
Hilda stands up and goes toe-to-toe with him. She's obviously shorter than him, but she doesn't back down, and she just snarls back, "Why did you stop them?"
What did you say?
You were his father.
Oh,
I said, "Why did you stop them?" You were his father. You were supposed to protect him. If he never, ever appeared there, he might still be alive.
You not think that I did not have good reason to leave him? It was the only way that I was able to keep peace in my own tribe. In exchange. Something that you probably knew nothing about. You're all gruff, bravado. A good leader knows when to use their emotions well. So you're best to get that in check if you ever wish to run anything.
I never wanted to run anything. I've seen good and bad leaders alike. I've killed them. Leading isn't my destiny. I don't care about it. I am a raider, a warrior. I fight and I kill. I protect what's mine. But there is nothing I could do when what's mine stabs me in the back.
He clenches his eyes, and you just see a single tear go down. He takes a breath, wipes the tear from his face. And just now you have proved why you were also worthy of leading. As for the two of us, we do not need to speak. But I feel that we can settle this in a different way. Amongst our tribes, we have tradition. That if ever there is a quarrel, a disagreement that cannot be satisfied through speech alone. Dance battle. We face each other in combat. And then it will be settled.
She kind of stares at him in surprise and confusion. And she says, "You obviously know more. You know more about me than I do you, from what you said. So you know that I'm not somebody that you just wildly challenge. What does some old fool like you, who couldn't even protect his own son, what chance do you have against me?"
Again, he's stone-faced, but at the saying his son, you can see him, that kind of wince from him that you haven't been seeing. It's very strange, but as a leader, he's taken, you can tell based on the way that he's carrying himself, that he just, everything is about what's for the good of my tribe, what's for the good of what I'm doing, and it doesn't matter if it's family or whatever. I don't let my emotions get in the way of my logic, which is strange for like a hunter gatherer type of person, but it's a different type of leadership that he took, and you could just tell that vibe's coming off, which is very unsettling probably.
Yeah, she'll kind of grit her teeth and bite back another snarl.
I would not have said it if I did not mean it. But not here, not now. He looks around the room and there's a bunch of people just staring. You see a Miri up on a table, and she was like already ready to cheer for you. She's like in the middle of like, fuck him up, and then she goes, oh, and then she like gets off the table when she realized nobody else is saying anything.
What, too afraid?
We need not break anything that doesn't belong to us. Plus, wouldn't you be happier to fight out in the wild?
Someone like you, I'll gladly hand your ass to you right here.
As I said, you need to learn to get that anger in check.
I won't be taking any advice from someone like you. She practically spits those words.
Then he just pushes past you. Doesn't knock into you on purpose, but just his presence coming past you shows a indifference towards your threat that you're not used to.
She just snarls in response.
And after he leaves, Amiri runs up to you. What was that all about?
Ilva is noticeably breathing hard. It's not like she's... There's not like much... like... It's kind of like the frustration or the anger really kind of got to her. And she's really just looking for an excuse to hit somebody. Before she just kind of lets out a frustrated yell, and she does just punch down on the table, probably breaking it.
You just see Amiri kind of like wince from that. All right. Remind me not to hide under any tables.
Sorry. Apparently he's the father of somebody I knew well. I cared greatly for before I had to leave.
Do you mean to fight him?
I'll kill him. Someone like that I can't forgive. Someone who leaves their child in the middle of a forest in the dead of winter. He was a young boy when my mother brought him to us.
He makes
He
a
was
disgusted
strong.
face.
He was strong for his size. He was short. And I let him know as much too. She like drops to the floor. She just like sits down and kind of dips her head. She said, "He's the first person who ever knocked me on my ass." It was impressive to a young me. I found it hilarious. Someone half my size even then was able to knock me over. Probably the only person who's ever managed to do that. But it's never sit well with me that he was just left there.
I don't see any excuse. I could only hear every other word he was saying, but he was talking loud enough for me to hear that he left his kid for some sort of greater good.
Ridiculous.
What greater good would be worth getting rid of your own kin?
I don't know. If he had kept his son, if he had protected him, maybe he'd still be alive. Maybe I never would have met him, but he wouldn't have had to die like that. And you hear like the slight tremble in her voice there. She won't look up, but she's agitated, and Amiri could probably tell that she's fighting tears.
Amiri instinctively blocks anybody else from seeing you, so like it allows you to drop that persona a little bit, so she's keeping your saving face for you basically. And then she just kind of puts her hand like tentatively on your head and just allows you to cry for a bit. And after a while, she speaks up and says, "You know what I can't wait for? To watch you beat his fucking ass."
Ilva laughs a little at that. It kind of wipes her eye. I'll shove those axes up his ass myself if I have to.
Oh.
I don't know what greater good he speaks of, and I don't care. If keeping your emotions level leads you to do something like that, I don't want it. I'd rather lose myself to my rage than abandon everybody who's important to me.
It's what makes you, you. Never seen someone able to wield their rage in such a way. He's wrong. And he'll see it. He'll taste it. In the blood that he's coughing up.
A wicked grin kind of spins across her face. And she's like, oh, I'll make sure of it.
Another round on me.
She laughs and stands up.
I'm getting you another round, he says as he backs up and then goes to the bar. But is there anything else that Ilva wanted to do or anybody to talk to?
Probably towards the end of the 2 weeks. She would hesitantly approach Bon, probably at night when people are usually asleep. Because it would have been something that would have been bothering her before she finally just went and did it. It was probably literally like the middle of the night. She'd go and like knock on his room door.
Bond will answer. He'll open the door, tilting his head. Ah, in here I thought you were avoiding me. What can I do for you?
He kind of looks with a straight face, and he'll kind of see, like, conflicting emotions probably cross it. She doesn't really hide her emotions. And... Sorry. She almost looks like she wants to yell for a second before closing her mouth again. And then she looks like she's gonna leave for a second before she does it. And she kind of looks awkwardly around and before just giving like a frustrated growl and like kind of almost grabbing her ears in annoyance. I need to talk to you.
Well,
about something that you said before.
Come on in then. I figure it'll be better to speak inside. And he'll open the door so she can come in.
Kind of pauses for a second before stepping in.
Trust me, if I wanted to hurt you, you'd probably be at my throat faster than I could cast any spell.
Not really worried about you hurting me.
Okay, good. Because I had no intention to. And that's at least one issue looked over. But Bond will shut the door after she comes in.
Is there a window in his room? Their room?
Yeah, there's windows in usually
There you
in most of the rooms. Because
Okay.
Valerie looked at it earlier, so it's canon.
Oh, right. I missed that. She'll walk kind of towards like the window, and she's kind of just she looks rigid. She's standing like rigidly as she looks, and she's staring almost blankly out the window. You know, I have no problem with what you are, with what you do. I don't even really care about your shadow. What bothered me is how you said, or what you said, it sounded like you didn't trust us. While we haven't known each other for very long, trust is incredibly important. And she kind of turns so that her good eye faces you. So it would be like to her left to look back at you. And she's just like, without trust, people get stabbed in the back. Without trust, everything falls apart. And I've been keeping my distance because I thought that you didn't trust me.
That's an
and I didn't want it to trouble you. I just need to know if that's really the case. If I should just leave you alone. I just need you to tell me so that I don't expect something that I shouldn't. I can't go through that again.
Regarding trust, I have, I would say, almost full trust in everyone in our group. The thing I don't trust is Dirt. But that is something more for me than anything else. And in terms of not sharing everything, I think that comes not from a lack of trust, but more from I am normally on my own. And it never occurred to me to share that information. I hope that makes more sense.
It does. Some, at least. I've never really, until recently, been alone. So I don't really know what that's like.
I've been alone since my awakening. I use the term alone loosely for the fact I don't know if I really count as being alone, since the shadow's always with me, but at the same point, we rarely converse, so I would consider myself alone for the most part. And some things, while with the shadow, I don't have to say anything for it, it's a part of me, so I believe some stuff will come up that I may not have shared, just for the fact that it didn't occur to me to share it. But in terms of trust, I would say almost all my trust relies with you guys, or lies with you guys.
You see her kind of look away for a moment, like contemplating, before she nods and says, thank you. At least for putting my worries at ease. And don't worry. It seems we at least agree on Dirt.
Dirt is questionable, and that's the most I can say about it. I will say, when Dirt is around, my connection to my god is severed, and their presence I cannot feel anymore. So I don't know what that says, or how to take that, but...
So they interrupt you and your god, and they threatened you.
Correct.
She kind of snarls, like, it's like a light snarl almost under her breath. Yeah, with her annoyance. Really hate that thing. I can't believe Olga let it into her head to touch her memories.
In the end, it's Olga's choice, and that's something that, well, all of us deserve the free will to choose. While I disagree with doing so, it's also not my place to say or speak for Olga. And I'm pretty sure Olga had their own reasons for doing so.
She looked the most disgusted and says, perhaps, but I don't feel like it will end well at all.
At this point, we'll just have to see the outcome unfortunately. Hopefully it's good and not bad.
That is my best hope. Anyway, sorry for bothering you in the middle of the night.
I'm normally awake around this time. It is no problem whatsoever. Though, if you do want to wake anyone else next, I'd recommend having fun scaring them. It's always a more interesting time. It's peace and quiet.
She looks a little... She looks both surprised and not surprised that you say that. And she kind of cracks her head. It's an interesting idea, but I'm probably just gonna go sleep. I probably would have waited until morning, except it was bothering me so much I couldn't sleep.
No worries whatsoever. Just an interesting thought to have, but rest well
Keep it
then.
in mind if I ever need to wake anybody else up in the middle of the night.
Sounds good.
She nods at you, says, have a good night.
You as well.
Before letting herself out of your room. Making sure to close the door behind her.
Someone with
All
manners.
Slams it open.
Probably like the only manners that she has.
Hey, I mean, it's a good one to have.
Hey Hobbs, do you feel up to it? Do you want to go next? That way we can end with Yoshimitsu.
I can't really think of anything getting to be doing that's all too, like, important.
Anything that you want to update the party with how Solomon might carry themselves or updates to their appearance now that you guys have a little bit of money to spend?
It's fairly consistent, no?
The one person that was here for you, I want to kind of like build him with you, or an idea. I was thinking of naming him Gregor, having him have like a kind of a New York accent, and he's like a traveling guy. Because he's gonna approach you and say, "Hey, you know, I've been working on something for you."
It's interesting. I haven't paid you much mind since I left home.
Well,
But-
listen, we've been keeping tabs on you.
So I see.
You surprised to see that I'm in some sort of society thing?
No, I figured that you were shady to begin with.
Yeah, you know me too well.
But
I trade and deal in information just like I do in parts and engineering things. Speaking of which, I have something for you. And then he slams on the table, and it looks like a gauntlet that has these different small vial-shaped indentations in it, or like sections that look like you could put smaller versions of your alchemy things into it.
well, this is interesting. Just
I
how
rigged it up
closely you're keeping
myself.
tabs on us.
Close enough to hear about the battle that you had with the Stag Lord. I'm just putting things together, and I knew you were always the one for the dramatic.
Well,
So, I thought that you could have something like this.
what's it cost?
Oh, no. Doesn't cost anything. We're family.
You're a merchant. You know that
But-
free is bad for business.
Listen, you run into any rare materials, you give them right to me, and
Mm,
then we can call it even.
I don't know about that. Rare materials.
Gems. Ore. Different things like that.
Special rocks that belong to a strange entity.
Anything like that. Why did you get so specific right there?
Well, I'm saying if you're to be in some society that seems to pop up now that we're involved with that.
Listen, I don't know too much what they do with that whole philosophy stuff. I find myself, keeping my hand in many different pies, if you know what I mean.
I'll use it. I'll see what it's worth, and I'll pay you accordingly.
We have a deal then. And he puts out his hand.
I'll take it and kind of try it out. I'll kind of slip it on my hand to see how it feels. But
when I put it on a mannequin, it only lost 2 fingers.
well, I prefer to lose none. How long ago was that mannequin?
You know as well as I do that we don't give up our trade secrets. And we know that we can always invest in new fingers, eh?
No, I've invested plenty into these ones. I'd hate to start from scratch.
We could replace one with a nice metal one, Have
Metal
it
doesn't
cast.
feel the same.
Maybe shoot lightning from it? You're giving me ideas, kid.
Dangerous ideas to have, especially when it involves me losing fingers. You know that the finger is so sensitive that if the world was to be shrunk down to a cue ball, we would be able to feel the divots inside.
How do you get ideas like that in your head?
That's just research on the finger, non-metallic ones. But hopefully, if I'm going to be using this, I don't lose any fingers. That would make it a lot less, I guess. That would line your pockets a lot less than I believe that you might be expecting. But
I'm trying to think of what ancestry to make him. Do you want to make him a crow guy?
You can make him however you'd like.
Okay. He's also a human? He does give off human vibes.
His ancestry is New Yorker,
New Yorker.
His ancestry's Italian.
Italian immigrant.
But also,
American.
I feel like I gotta ask you, kid. What should I tell your mom and pops when I go back to bide there? Do they know that you're out here?
They do. I can't leave them and stop alone. It's bad for business on my end and theirs.
Alright. Just was making sure there wasn't any, shady circumstances.
No, that's your business.
You
not
you
mine.
can come to me to, if anything ever happens between you, them, I'm like your uncle.
Creepy. Creepy uncle always has the back. I'll keep that in mind, but I try to keep things mostly above the board. But depending on where the taxes end up in this kingdom, perhaps we may have to do some trade cash.
Listen, I'll keep my... If I'm involved in this thing, I'll keep my finger on the pulse of whatever's going on in the black markets.
Aside from the black markets, what can you do for the markets concerning our up-and-coming village?
Well, could probably find things that you'll never find here. Cursed, magical things.
Oh,
I can find sources to different crafters, different artisans. Ones that live in the middle of nowhere on the top of mountains. You wouldn't believe the places that I've been, kid.
Artisans are always useful. A trade hub would be, I guess, a valuable asset to have. And
Well, if you're looking to make connections, I probably know a few guys.
well, come up with a list of who you think might do well and let me know. I'll see if I can work it into our ever busy schedule.
My little Solomon found himself in a prophecy.
No.
He goes to like pinch at your cheeks.
I'd kind of slap it away. Don't. None of that.
Ah, come on. You can't always wear the mask.
I can, and I will. Besides,
It's not because
who
you're
knows
ugly
what
under
it
there, are you?
is.
You got pimples or something?
If my face was a mirror, you tell me.
Dang.
Well.
Oh, he's talking with his hands the entire time.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And he definitely has missing fingers, and one's replaced with like metal rods that could shoot like a random spell out of it.
Eccentrics. Wonder that you keep yourself in business.
I always find a way. And he does that little thing where he puts his finger to his nose and then points it at you.
Well, I was thinking of just wandering the markets for a bit to see if there's anything that pops out. Try to see what they could be needing here to facilitate our own growth.
Kind of bunch of standard fare. If you really want something interesting, you come to me.
I don't need interesting. I need the basics and the foundation right now.
Yeah, I know. Let me know how that thing works, and give it a name. Something interesting.
Well, first I'll see if it's going to cost me a finger or two before I go relying on it.
I know that you made that, Frey. Is that somewhere that I can put that in his inventory?
Is it not in the item? It should be in player Solomon.
Oh, it is. Oh, it's already named.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like
I'm
the
gonna
name,
say it.
actually. Should be in your inventory now. Anything else Solomon had in mind? Anybody that he wanted to maybe talk to her at all?
No.
Okay. Yoshimitsu,
Yep,
would you like to reintroduce your character?
No.
Fair.
The flag has turned into a sash that now goes around his belt. Simply because figuring out how that thing works now doesn't make any fucking sense, so it's now just a sash on it. What the fuck? On his belt, which now has fucking a belladonna on it after meeting Chathal. So that's great. Now that it's summertime, he is wearing more appropriate clothing. So one he has one arm that's just completely out, and then the other side is like completely clothed with the like long flowing fabrics. What else would there be? Aside from like one side of him being more clothed than the other, I guess. Not really much else. He is now wearing a wreath on his head, similar to like Roman emperors. Because of this thing. So it's neat. That's it.
And how is Yoshimitsu spending their days?
Helping people out in the community and also studying a lot of things involving running a goddamn country.
How to run a country for dummies?
Yeah, how to run a country for dummies. Reading on taxes and legalistic stuff. and he's just spending his time figuring out what the hell is going on and how to deal with it, and also just finding general information on the stolen lands, if there even is any anywhere.
There's information about the general layout. You can get where there's major settlements, where Patak is and about how far it is, like the major points of interest. And also the different biomes that are across the land. You have more of a sense of.
Ah, yes. It's wet. It's a lot of swamp.
Like all the natural resources that might be in the area. Hint, hint. So, Kimiko, though you may have seen in town, probably keeping her distance from you. I think she realized she got a little bit too far ahead of herself with you, and before you parted ways that night, she pulled you aside. So I'm going to go back to that because we didn't get a chance to like roleplay it. So this is like right after you found about the prophecies and everything like that. He at first is going to come up to you after everyone's kind of settled down and you're the only two hanging back. Finally, it was able to happen. I am so happy to have you here. And you know, I am so proud of you, as I'm always said. So, what's first? What can I help you with?
You can start off by explaining what the hell is going on with me, since you've never bothered to explain that.
What do you mean? The prophecy all put it out there. We couldn't tell you before, so we told you now.
Why couldn't you tell me before? Why is now the time for these things to happen?
Well, it said that we couldn't tell you until after the Stag Lord fell.
Who told you that?
The tablets, we said, right? And we've all been studying it so hard, so we've learned so much about it that we've been following, and we're trying to put everything into place. She's just like rambling excitedly about this prophecy thing, not even like paying attention to your demeanor. She's not catching up on that yet.
You always were bad with saying other people's anything.
What?
Always, it's about the prophecy, yes? But what about me? What about them? The other people?
I did it again, didn't I?
You did it again? And you keep doing it. No matter how the others react, no matter how many times.
I promised I wouldn't do this after the incident at school. Flashback.
Oh, we do not flashback that.
But we won't have time to talk about that.
We do not talk about that. All those children were scarred for life.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make choices for you. I just know that you've been looking for an opportunity to do something greater, to be something greater, and this...
Yes.
This feels like an ultimate opportunity, so...
It does.
But I never bothered to ask.
Exactly. And now it feels forced, too, because it's a prophecy. It's something that... Something is saying that something's supposed to happen. What about my own initiative? What about me? What about
For all
them?
we know.
What are their goals? Their life choice? This is just some rock. Sure, it's a magic rock.
He does like a nice, like a nod. Yes, it is kind of magic. Yeah. But... So then, let me ask you then, Yoshimitsu. What is it that you want?
what I've always wanted. To create a place for people. To not live in fear. To always continue hoping for a brighter tomorrow. No matter what. And I'm going to do that. With or without some damned prophecy. No gods. No masters. No gods. No outside forces. No dirt. Me
Nods her head to the
and
side
my
for a second for
friends.
that.
You're right, none of us went to college. Fuck school. Nope, we ain't close. We're not a nudist colony.
But we could be.
No.
So she makes a puzzled face to when you said dirt, but then kind of shakes it off because she was about to start going off in her own head about what that meant. It's just becoming another mystery to her. Okay. That is fair enough. You don't have to say another word about this prophecy if you don't want to. You don't have to follow another person. You don't have to let any of us influence you. You can do what you think is right. But I do ask you to be careful about the decision you make. I trust you to make the decision. Please do not think that I don't. But right now is the opportunity that you have to choose what happens next. Who you align yourself with. Who becomes friend, who becomes foe. And allow me to make my case.
Take it.
If you should so like, and it is completely your choice, our society would like to operate underneath your kingdom. Under your leadership and your leadership alone. And if that choice is to have us leave and never come back to town, so be it. If that choice is for us to stay here and only work on the outside, so be it. But we offer many friends and connections that may be helpful to you. So, your choice entirely, but I do think we are a good choice.
I will give it some thought. Did you bring any of the spring rolls?
Yes, I did. Of course I did. And then she brings out an entire pack of them. There's like an entire giant bag of... And then it's labeled Yoshimitsu spring rolls. Remind him not to eat all in one sitting.
Too late, the thing's already open. It is good to see you, though.
It is good to see you too. If I ever start to intervene like that again, please call me out.
Oh, I will.
And
I'll make sure to tell Rena that next time, too.
oh, she'll be hearing it, I'm sure. But do talk with your friends, those that you can trust. Involve no one else. See who it is that you want to be. How you shall be remembered.
Takes one last bite of a spring roll. Yes. I know your intentions for me are well. But I will do this on my own terms, with my own people. And if my own people includes the society, then so be it. But I will let you know that decision in time.
And I will be at peace with whatever you decide. Though I can't guarantee that I won't complain about it. But remember
Whenever
to
have I
wash.
made a decision you haven't complained about?
Maybe just that one time, or every time. I'm too hard on you, you know. You are an adult now, and you are able to make your own decisions.
Yes,
Just not
and
willing to get let go of that sweet, adorable face that I used to see, looking up at me every morning, and then she goes to put her hands on your cheeks.
I let her.
Are you washing behind your ears?
Yeah.
And you're doing your stretches every morning? Remember,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
important to do so. When you get a little bit older, you'll thank yourself.
Make sure to practice with everything. Make sure to do the stretches in the morning. I make sure to do the sword exercises. I also make sure to talk down all the merchants, like Rena told me. The people here, they're really gullible.
Oh, she does love a good discount. You got away with a highway robbery, didn't you? She looks at the new scarf and gloves that you have on.
Okay, listen, the guard had it coming. He was being a dick. I know.
I won't ask questions.
But
Now, I won't-
trace it back to me.
I won't keep you any longer. You know where to find us if you need us. Go rest and think about everything.
Okay.
And celebrate. You succeeded on something that many people would fail at.
Yoshimitsu will just leave after saying that, only briefly stopping in the doorway before continuing on.
Alright. I would like you all to kind of get together and just briefly roleplay, like, what is it that you guys want to do next? What do you want to stand for? What is the reason for starting a new community? All that kind of stuff. And then we'll start to create this kingdom. Because you have to draw up a charter.
So when you create the kingdom,
Mm-hmm.
it asks you the steps. There we go. It brings it up for everyone.
Yes. So we'll look at this while you
So
guys
we're
are
going to
talking.
be doing conquest, despotism. No.
So they have different ability scores versus just like the other things.
Yeah,
In
each
culture, economy, loyalty, stability.
yeah. You can also click on each one to look at the different ones.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys can click these two, or you want me to click through them.
We can click through each individual thing
Okay.
on there. So, we get conquest, expansion, exploration, grant, or open. We should definitely do conquest because that's what Yova wants to do.
No, Ilva doesn't want the conquest. She just wants to fight.
Okay, but conquest involves fighting.
Yeah.
So the one question that sticks with you, Yoshimitsu, when you left and has been burning in your mind is, how is it that you want to be how shall you be remembered? And I feel like that's the kind of thing that you guys would then meet up about. What is it that each of you want to be remembered for? And that's how you make these decisions.
Well, at level 20, I'm going to choose a feat that prevents me from aging, so everyone will still remember me because I'll still be alive.
You'll be there.
Can't forget about me if I'm always in your fucking face.
And he's so annoying. He's just there all the time. He won't get with the times.
In my day,
They're always talking about back in his day this, back in his day that.
we walked school uphill both ways in the rain.
15 miles.
Let's see. We should. In terms of a kingdom, location. Lady Jamandi has given us different options to do. We could do conquest, expansion, exploration, grant, or we could just say screw it and do our own thing with the open. No direct support, no restrictions. We get one free ability boost to put anywhere with no ability flaw. Everything else has one free boost, one actual boost, and a flaw. So, if we do, like, exploration, we'll be in debt. So, people, what are you guys thinking? Conquest? Expansion? Do a bit of exploration?
What are you guys looking at?
Olga,
Oh, thank you.
don't talk when you're eating, please.
Oh,
Oh, we are definitely doing this at, like, dinner time or something.
Yep,
look at
you got
giant tomato.
another bag of spring rolls next to you.
Completely vegetarian.
The spring rolls are good, aren't they, Olga?
Yeah, Kimiko's made one with each of your favorite filling in it somehow.
There's
I don't know
squash.
how she does that.
Pack it in. And wrap it. And then you eat it.
We could always just do an open. Be true free agents if we don't want to be loyal. If we don't want to have any negatives, like the workers being from here or us being in debt.
Do you guys just want to go with open? What it all means.
Hold on.
Think about this
Okay,
as your
so we're going nuclear
ancestry.
Gandhi. Okay, hold on. Let me find the kingdom ability scores.
We'll have a kingdom of Democrats? Oh, there's Republic, but there's no Democrat. What the fuck?
That's
That's not what that means.
Democrats are a party in a republic.
I have no idea. Fuck school. Oh.
Like-
Oh, that's real.
Okay, so we have culture, which measures the interest and dedication of your nation and people in its arts and sciences, to religion and reason, and to the subject that your society chooses to learn about and teach. As your people are well versed in rhetoric and philosophy, do they value learning and research, music and
Oh,
dance?
it's my mommy.
Yep. Economy, I don't need to explain economy.
No, there's
Loyalty.
different kingdom abilities, and there's like a resource stage where you'll gather resources, and based on these abilities, different roles happen for the things that you choose to do. and collecting resources and all that stuff. And depending on those levels, that's how much you get of each of those things and how well those things go.
We could just do open and just say fuck it, because at the end of the day, we're gonna have a flaw. We're not gonna be great in one thing, so we might as well just be like, yeah, fuck
All
it.
right.
We got.
Let's build open. Save and continue. Where do you want to build?
Well, we could just plop our kingdom down on Oleg's trading post,
You can.
or we could
I would-
build on the Stag Lord's fort, clear the undead from there first, and then be like, our land now.
I feel
If
like
you-
it probably.
Because it
Yeah.
also is next to a river, and rivers are good for trade.
But he's
Yep,
this is
stinky.
It can be
I
clean.
feel like it probably still stinks.
It's stinky.
Can you take us to the hex map again,
Yes.
so we can at least like view locations?
We're breaking the fourth wall.
Okay, it's also only stinky in the Stag Lord's fort. We can bulldoze that place, build a condo.
A stinky condo.
We can deal with that. It's not a haunted burial ground. It's just zombies. How do you know? We could
Is
just get an
Bond
exorcist.
saying that, or is Null saying that?
We could get. You know how many spiritualists back home in Minkai would love to come and cleanse the place?
It's fucking taking a very long time to load this.
It's a
It's
fucking
been
hex map.
stuck at 99%.
Just look at you when you go pee-wee.
What?
Okay, where would you like to put the fucking kingdom?
Next to it.
What do you mean next to it?
There it goes.
Not on it, but next to it.
Next by
Hold
a river is
Where
a
the
good
fuck-
idea, a body of running water, or maybe like by a lake. But I don't know that,
Okay, can you mark where the fucking Stag Lord's fort is so we can at least have like a reference of where it is?
Yeah.
We
Stag
could go
Lord's Fort.
fucking intrude upon Varn's fucking house and go there.
Oh, build a pottery barn. That's a thing.
A pottery barn?
Oh.
Huh?
You didn't need to draw it.
Oh, is this where it is?
So you want to put it next to? You want to put it on a woo?
Yeah, put
Yeah,
it
but-
right here across.
We don't know what's up. We could go over here with the river. The
But then
You
we
can-
won't bathe in the lake.
Mountain you can
Do we
choose.
even
if
know
you...
what's in the lake?
No, but we'll find out if we jump in.
So you can choose any of these because mountain or ruins, you'd be going up here next to the structure,
Is
the
that
old
mountain?
structure. It would be the old structure. If
That
you
is
go
the-
there,
no,
or
that's hill.
oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah. He's like over here.
Yeah.
Hi, Varn. We're here to siege you.
You just build a donut of fucking
I
land.
don't have anything against this thing.
Yeah, he
Okay,
has
but,
very poor choice in guards.
Yeah.
Well, there's also.
Certainly seemed like he meant it that
Solomon,
way.
we need you to go over to Varnhold and talk to Varn and make sure this is not some horrible misunderstanding. Whether or not you sleep with him is your own thing, but
We show up, we're like, hey neighbor, and then we just build a donut.
Hey, neighbor! Encapsulate city.
take up this whole entire
Ooh, sorry. If you want to
space
send your
right
goods
here so
through
they can't get
here,
there.
you gotta pay the tax.
It's also just your first settlement. You're able to make other settlements and make that be your more permanent one. Like these can be just smaller settlements.
We know how indecisive we are. We're never gonna fucking make the capital anywhere else.
On the
Yeah.
second settlement, it'll be right across the other sides.
All our settlements are going to be around Varnhold.
There's gonna be 7 towns surrounding him.
We start building the Great Wall of Maria. I mean, it's just
Maria.
They have a little market stand right here. We'll set up next to them and make it bigger.
Lemonade.
Use
10%
some
off
lemonade.
whatever Varnhold is offering.
Cheaper prices.
We will beat any price Varnhold puts out.
Yep. Supply and demand, baby.
Well, profiting off your misery. I hope you like it. I feel like you can't help but crack a little smile over there, man.
Well, we made him racist. Well, we made his
You
guard
make it
racist.
racist.
His guard was racist.
Trade war, trade war.
He's started this war whether he wants to or not.
Yoshimitsu, I heard they called you a raccoon. Are you gonna take that? Come on, let's build that donut.
Okay, here's the other issue with this problem. They have centaur problem right now, and I don't want to be in the middle of a centaur problem.
I hear centaurs
Well, if-
like pretty girls. I know
If
pretty girls.
we're nice to the centaurs, we won't have a centaur problem, and we can leave it his problem.
We don't know the situation of the centaur problem. Also,
Poach
I
him.
want to live in the fucking mountains. Do you want to go on a diplomatic mission to the centaurs?
Yes. If that means making Varn's life miserable, maybe.
Alright. Guess we're making contact with the centaurs next session.
Okay, hold on. I want to go all the way over here. Man, we haven't even started it. I already don't have high hopes.
What the fuck did you expect from us?
Yeah, we started this
I
off
didn't have
talking
any
about it being a
expectations.
religious country, and it was all just a cult. With
Yeah.
Don at the head, remember? Like, I don't know where you expected this to go.
Okay.
Gracias. I don't know
I
why
would've
we're
liked to see
doing
some
it.
real
I'm just
initiative
on
for the
board.
something that actually mattered. But we put it right here next to the Stag Lord fort on the water where the rivers meet.
You
If
always
you want to
can
be
on
the
the way.
fucking emissary, go for it. I know, that's why I said it.
Alright, so if you guys go there, then
That's
that would be
hill.
a river. It looks like it's on a river, but you want hill.
That's what the heck says.
Okay.
Wait, isn't that where I heard the
Yes,
warg?
it is close to there.
It's to the south. The wargs are the south. The wargs and or wolves.
I heard both, okay? I have good ears. I know what they are.
Okay.
Alright,
got
hill or plain.
Hill or plain.
I
We-
like a river.
Well, then if we put that there, then we can deal with the warg situation soon. Or rather than later. Yeah.
But why is that not lake or river?
Probably because it has more terrain that is hills than lake.
Oh, on that hex. Okay.
Yeah.
You can always expand it to.
The map isn't as accurate as it is because there's no way that fucking tiny ass rope bridge over there is that big.
Yeah.
I believe.
The
That
water
was the
starts.
same
The water
way,
flows
doesn't
from
it?
here to here in the middle, and then from
And
the
bridges
swamp
out.
to there, and then it meets and goes to the lake.
These all flow
I was
down.
gonna say,
These
I was
all
gonna
flow
say,
downward
so
from the
do
mountain.
all of them flow into the river, or just the one and the rest flow out?
This makes like
'Cause
it's
this
flowing
one looks
this.
like this one looks like it flows in.
It looks like it's flowing this way.
because it's coming from the mountain.
Right. You see where I'm coming from.
There's gonna be a portage over here though because the river doesn't connect if they're trying to go any further west.
Then you can sink his battleship.
Hell yeah. Wait, where is Barn?
He's over here.
Oh, okay. So he would have to use this river, which goes right into our area. Okay.
So if you build a donut here, we build another donut here, so he has to pass no matter where.
Yeah, so
The
he
power
starts
of
here.
donuts.
We build up
See,
this
we
way
just
to
claim
the
him
lake.
as territory.
We
So
then
build
this
we
up-
is
build another
sounding more
donut
and more
here.
like despotism.
We'll just make it a big,
Clearly,
like a
this
big
is
donut. So we
despotism.
start here in this hex. We follow the river up. So we're covering this river and the lake. We follow this river up and around.
Maybe I just want a donut.
Honestly, there are other people that fucking did go out, but no, it's only Varn that we hate.
You could be an oligarchy, and then each of you are like
Honestly,
the powers that are running and influencing.
Manry.
Decentralized and has local leaders. Yeah.
Oh no, Thaumaturgy also is funny just because of how many people we don't have that are magical.
We all just follow the prophecy stone.
Yeah, we all just
Nobody's in.
fucking follow
Who's in charge
Thaumaturgy,
here?
so-
The Rock.
Listen, man, prophecy is powerful.
And then everybody just sits there until The Rock says something else, and then they go and do it.
The magic con.
Can I have something to eat? No. Up to you guys.
We could. Well, no. Imagine this feudalism.
But we're not a dynastic family.
Okay, just me on the throne. Level 20. When I get that feat where I never die of old age.
There's a throne? You're gonna have to do some squats to fit on it.
But Democracy also does. So each of these also do get their own kingdom feat.
Mm-hmm.
Democracy gives practical magic. You gain a +1 status bonus to magic checks, and you can use magic checks in place of engineering checks.
I mean, oligarchy has insider trading.
And one of you
Insider
excited?
trading.
Okay, but literally only one person.
Oligarchy? Nation's rule is determined by a council of influential leaders who make decisions for all others.
Yeah, ability booster, loyal. Go for it.
I'm fucking rich. Neil.
Democracy gives economy and culture too.
What does?
Democracy.
I don't do good.
I know. That's why it's funny. Exactly. Hey, Lindsay's there. She's magic.
What? Where are we going?
You know, this is what Tabinter was.
Hey.
I think you're leaving it to Bond. Oh yeah, I do! I take it back.
Yue, I was planning on making you the Magister, by the way.
Oh yes, I do magic.
I'm magic, yeah.
Okay,
You're
so
in for a ride, buddy.
So Nick and okay,
Mhm.
or not, Yulva and Bon are for oligarchy. What about you, Olga?
Malarkey.
Malarkey?
What are we saying?
Oligarchy
Oh,
or democracy? I'm also willing to do Yua Manri if we want decentralized powers. Council
I
of
feel like it'd be more like
Influential
a
Leaders.
Senate because a monarchy is still technically a family.
It's basically it's either the people that have a lot of cultural influence or a lot of money are the ones that make most of the biggest decisions that govern things, and there's not necessarily, and they're the ones that kind of elect a leader as a face to it.
oh, do they get an option to impeach the leader?
It depends if the place is corrupt. Like if you,
That's a democracy.
not to get political on this, but if you think of Russia as more of an oligarchy, that's more on the corrupt side.
Ah,
Well, I feel like they're more of a tyranny, but sure.
Yes, but they have oligarchs that are influence
Yeah, so
and
do
basically
we.
make most. Yes, that's true too.
that sounds fair.
Well,
Yeah,
you got-
that one sounds good.
So it can
you
be
got
bad, but it can be
Triple
good.
X, which is oh no, that's a monarchy. Never mind.
You can also think of an
Sounds rude.
oligarchy as like just these different people that are very much respected in the leadership of the town, and if there's a question about nature or something, they'd go to Olga. If there was a question about religion or something like that, or more society stuff, then they might go to Bond, like that kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's do oligarchy then.
Oligarchy.
All right.
Uh, do we want?
I've been grandfathered in though.
So we have to
We're gonna be
decide.
really loyal people.
I don't
what our
think there really
boost
is impeachment in an oligarchy because all the people who have influence and power would be, well, in
They're
power.
controlling. They're the ones that are deciding ultimately.
The only
who's
kind
going to
of
be.
impeachment you'd get is a full-on revolution.
Yeah, they would. It would be a coup.
Okay, do we want more
Oh.
culture, economy, loyalty, and
Leave out the
stability?
revolution.
Yeah, you can. Mm-hmm.
I feel like Solomon would like economy.
Because with the economy, we can boost everything else. Pretty.
The oligarchy free boost, we should get some culture. Yeah,
And do you want to just even it out on instability for your level 1?
yeah. I say we just make it put into culture, just so we can have 14s across the board. Except for one, but
All right. And then,
we
do you
get
guys want to
choose-
be Infamous or famous? I don't really.
Do we want to be good or evil?
Evil. Oh yeah.
We could start with fame, and then if something happens, we turn to infamy. I mean, come
We don't
on.
use hero points for kingdom rolls. We use fame or infamy points. So I feel bad when I choose the mean option.
I'm
Put
right
us
back.
Hobbs. Wow. I
So
did
there's-
it in Infamous. Every Infamous game, I've done both the good and the evil with no problem.
Okay, but
So
that's the
there-
point of it.
There are 4 categories that are opposite of each of your abilities. Those are called ruin. So, opposite of culture is corruption, opposite of economy is crime, stability is decay, and loyalty and strife. So, those are things that can happen or be affecting your kingdom when you do different roles for activities that you would do.
Hobbs can't even choose the mean options as the Dark Urge. You want to push the guy out the window even though he deserves it.
All right, I think we'll go with fame and we'll complete that. 49 activities will be added. So now, did
Okay, I
that pop
recommend
up for you
using
guys?
milestone for kingdom,
Yes.
just so that way we don't have to fiddle with XP and shit.
Did it pop up for you guys automatically?
No,
Well,
There you go.
it did
there
now.
it
You have
is.
to close up the previous one. Oh, what is the name of our kingdom?
We'll come back to that.
Yes, the Order of Dusk and Dawn. That won't.
That is more of a oligarchy if you're calling yourself an order.
I feel like that's what we call the Republic, or like the Senate or something.
Yeah.
We don't have to choose this now. We can choose this next
Yeah,
time.
this can all come later. And you can have a capital city name. So you'll
I have
have
an idea
leaders
for
that will drag into
capital
each of
name, but-
these.
Okay.
Let me actually bring you back to a place where you have your tokens.
So,
The activate. Okay.
I assume we have all our companions with us too, as well, like Amiri, Lindsay,
Yeah.
Valerie.
Yep. And you can
Tristan?
either use them as. Yeah, Tristan's over here.
Can you drag them over here?
Yeah.
He's at least in frame.
No.
Okay, well, I guess he's not going to be part of this. Hey, you should also make Ekondayo, unhidden with dog.
I'm moving him.
I think that's it for our friend.
Yes. You can also use any of the people that we've met or that have relationships with you if you decide to make them as part of your kingdom.
Okay, we
as a
make
back-
Oleg the ruler.
Or they can serve as the backup, so they serve in your stead when you're not around.
Having somebody fill in is good if we're gonna be waltzing about everywhere else.
For leaders, I elect myself as ruler.
Any
Plays on the
objections?
table.
Any objections?
Any objections? I have been spending these past 2 weeks studying things, and
I mean,
who of
you
all-
is not even here. Is Hobbs even still alive?
I don't know. He probably isn't. Don't worry, I plan to try not to.
Oh, Ilva will too, because she's already done that
And
before.
remember, I will teach the people how to revolutionize. Molotov cocktails are real easy to make.
Kingdom of Molotov
How to
cocktail.
revolt 101.
Yeah, we're not talking about like kingdoms and stuff. Realistically, Ilva would probably be like sleeping or laying on the table at one point.
Does it
Or
work
off
if I
the
do?
floor.
Oh god.
Yeah, as soon as you mentioned serving out varm, because
We
because of that guard, she now thinks he's a fucking racist. Immediately
also
catch
need
her
somebody with a
attention.
bit level-headed who is not about to siege another town right from the get-go. We need resources to siege the town.
You wouldn't exactly. Elva's not really a siege kind of person. She's more of a waltz in and kill one herself.
Do I
kind of
invest
person.
you
This
in
is
there?
why you shouldn't be in any position of power. Also, as ruler, you need a face, and I think I have a pretty good face. Smile.
Elva kind of just, eh. She's like on the floor at this point, probably doing who knows what. She's like drawing on the sand or wherever we are. Only half paying attention.
Better
Who
than
do you
what I
have
thought.
for counselor?
Counselor, Lindsay?
Well, what does the counselor even do? Why doesn't it say any of that?
Hold on, let me put AF Pui Kingdom.
Cause like, did anybody else have any ideas, or are we just leaving it to Frey?
Well, hold on. Counselor. The counselor is a liaison between the government and citizens. They study issues with academic analysis, but also interpret the desires of the citizenry and present proclamations to people in understandable ways. Her being a bard, yeah. She'd be an excellent. That, and also with her complaints about Ptah, I feel like this might be an excellent time for us to stick it to them, because they don't sound like good people.
Lindsay has been wandering around making an anthem for the kingdom already, like a national anthem, and has been
Also,
annoying you with it.
Lindsay, we need to get our ADHD meds first, but
What's that?
I also have to level her up,
you also might need them.
What's that?
so I can put her into counselor and invest her there, I guess.
You can only invest 4 things, so hold off on that.
We'll decide. Okay.
You can decide that later. But
General.
Valerie?
I feel like the leader should be invested.
Valerie, you have the... Valerie, out of all the people here, you look like you have the most combat discipline and experience in terms of
Hey!
emphasis on discipline.
Plenty of discipline!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that what
Especially
because
in
I don't
a-
know anything about your backstory.
Combat role, too.
Also, Valerie, you with your armor look like you would fit the position of a general.
With my armor, huh?
Yeah.
Well, we'll just have to see if my actions can match my appearance then.
I have
Gives a wink
literally not
over to
seen
Bob.
you in action. Speaking of respecting people's word, Bon, I want you to be the emissary. Yes, but you don't have to be the one in the front, because the emissary, you keep the state secrets, oversee clandestine intrigues, and deal with the criminal elements of the kingdom. You manage foreign policy and interactions with other kingdoms, as well as interactions of political organizations and power brokers at home. Okay. We're gonna find out he's like actually a great fucking person. It was just that one goddamn guard that fucked it all up. That's gonna be great when I find out one of the people that's working for us is an assassin trying to kill me.
Looks at the kingdom events.
I definitely know there's an assassination somewhere in there.
They're all bad. I'm not telling you any of them are good.
Magister! Olga! You know magic. You know magic. You got the druid powers.
Mhm.
And that connection with dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
We're going to need to teach everyone here how to read.
No, it's
Well, everyone that doesn't know how to read.
why?
You will oversee You will be in charge of all things magical in the kingdom, attending to how the supernatural affects ordinary citizens. They promote higher learning in arts and magic, whether arcane, divine, occult, or primal. They oversee any aspects of government bureaucracy in which magic can be of service to the kingdom's needs and interests. Think of all the Leshy friends you can have.
Oh my god.
We're gonna have a cabal of Leshy spies.
I'm gonna be like Hagrid from Harry Potter.
Why the fuck not? You can just hear
It's like
them.
there's this whole fucking Studio Ghibli looking tower just filled with little teeny tiny
It's
things.
carved from a tree.
Oh god, it's made from a giant oak tree again. It's not even a tower.
Is that what your building's gonna look like? You each get to choose like a building for
Damn
yourself.
right, I'm going straight into the whole
Our fucking goddamn capital is gonna have such a different fucking art style depending on where you are.
half of it is all covered in moss and shit.
What's your culture? It's there somewhere.
The different architecture tells you which like quarter you're in. It's very hard to get lost.
Zootopia! It's like Zootopia, remember? How they have all separate?
It's very hard to get lost because I mean, one second you're looking at a Japanese style building, and the next everything's covered in plants.
It's like a rainforest.
For some reason, there's a modern-looking black pyramid that shoots a laser into the sky.
And will soon be converted into a Bass Pro Shop.
Oh god.
Is that a Spirit Halloween?
A pottery barn. Made from organic oak. Mahogany!
It's literally just in a giant oak tree.
And then
Oh,
next
shit.
to that is a mom and dad or a mom and pop.
All right,
Crap.
who's handling the money?
There's a lemonade stand in front of it.
Woman, you come from money, you be the money man.
Sure, he'll
think
have
Hobbs
no
is
problem
dead.
with that. He'll have no problem with that, I'm sure.
Oh, he's not here.
Viceroy.
Yes, he
Okay.
did.
We get Oleg to be the viceroy.
Hell yeah.
What's the viceroy?
I'm sure in the past I convinced him to help us with this, and then we can be viceroy until we find another one. We're never gonna find another one.
I just have to find him through all
That
of
and also
the-
this gives Hooky an excuse to play Oleg more.
I like Oleg. Oleg and Svetlana is actually the one running it, but Oleg's in the position.
It is Oleg's trading post.
By every good
By
man,
name
there's
only.
a woman controlling them.
That and also I don't have a better fucking person for viceroy. It was gonna be Tristan, but Tristan, I would need you to help Olga with Magister services.
He gives a
She
little
can't read.
yes, score.
We can braid our hairs and do our nails and not read. No.
We
The
don't have to
warden.
read that much.
Yilva! I would like you to be the warden.
She's probably sitting like the wrong way on a chair right now. And she just kind of goes, huh?
The warden monitors the safety, security, and overall health of the kingdom, its lands, and its borders. They manage scouts and patrols in the countryside, respond to local threats and menaces as needed, and oversee the kingdom's overall defense and health. You get to hunt poachers if there are poachers. The ultimate hunt of all, men.
I mean, okay. I didn't really do defense back home. I was a raider, but okay.
The best defense is an offense. If you take preventative measures. Also, Ekendio,
I just
Yes.
if you could please help Ylva with these duties because she can't read.
And then he just looks over at Ilva.
You can
And nods
also be
his
the
head.
person in charge to replace her whenever she needs to leave for extended periods of time. Emissary, the backup emissary role can go to...
no.
Jathal?
Who?
Jathal would work. If you're
Jathal.
involving...
Well, it's just I'm like looking for like backup characters that can like
Yeah.
fill our roles just so they're not vacant if we need to leave for more than
You
a
can
month.
always ask later, like more... We can, as we get more characters and relationships, they can fill those roles.
I'm just
and
looking for
actually-
like everyone present to be somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh.
And whenever those roles become vacant, we'll allow you guys, depending on what's going on at the time, you can elect someone to be your replacement as you guys leave. For each individual role.
And Demiri, you can assist Valerie with her general duties. As I fear what would happen if I put you anywhere near Ylva.
You just look in her eyes and you see the reflection of 1,000 fires covering the land. She's daydreaming. And you see her drooling a bit. And then she like, wipes her face. Huh? Sorry, I stopped paying attention.
Valerie, you can fill her in. Alright, good talk.
Like, Ilva's probably sprawled face first on the ground.
We will I'll hand the papers to Lady Jamondi, and we can get to our settlement of somewhere.
We'll look at these
Three
other
Rivers.
tabs. The Three Rivers, that could be your capital.
I don't know, that was the first thing that popped in my head when I was thinking of like capital names.
You don't like the names that I just put in there?
What did you put in? Farnold to the bedroom.
And Kingdom.
Oh my god.
God. I feel like we would lose any sort of culture with those names.
We definitely would. I'm just putting them in there. So there's a lot of things that you guys can... Is there a way to make sure that everybody just always has access to this?
I don't know, yeah, maybe.
The kingdom activities?
I can deal with it in a week.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about them now, but you guys can poke through these and see what they all say. You can follow them as they're written, but you can also tell me, like, hey, I want to like in crafting luxuries. Like, if you decide...
we can roleplay that. Like,
yeah, it
doesn't
can be
need to
whatever you
specific.
want it to be. It just has to follow those roles. Whatever you want to do that fits something. So you can make up your own.
Yeah, campaign I'm watching, they like fucking... Well, they started a blight on their first day, but...
So you can see that each
We're
of them
not even the worst.
have to do with different things.
Did somebody say Dragonade?
I did.
Hell yeah.
I,
Hopefully they didn't start that blight. Or the worst blight.
no, it's blight as in, like... Crops are dying. Not
Oh.
Dragon Age blight.
Oh. Well.
Okay.
That's
Not the ancient
less-
elven gods awakening.
That's less exciting.
That's not what caused the blight.
I know. I'm paraphrasing.
So that's
don't
the
have to deal with
kingdom. We will do a kingdom. We're going to do a kingdom, like a practice kingdom round next time. So I think we'll wrap up there unless anybody else wants to roleplay anything.
No, I'm good.
Do you
Alrighty.
have an idea for what's the cap... Or not the capital? The kingdom could be called?
Okay.
No.
Freeholm?
Ah.
Freeholm?
Free,
Spell it.
Home as in HOLM.
Spell it.
free
Uh.
home.
Free as in Freebird. Home as in Stockholm.
Okay, yeah, I wrote it right.
Oh, there's two different things.
I wouldn't have expected it quite like that.
Do you want to
but,
be
know.
like? Do you want to be like the kingdom of free home or?
Kingdom of Free Home? Free Home Confederacy.
Oh my god.
Weird at oligarchy.
Exactly. That's why it makes them confused. We gotta confuse our enemies first.
I think just by
If we don't know what the
existing-
hell we're doing, how are they gonna know what the hell we're doing?
We don't ever know what we're doing.
Exactly. Free Home Syndicate.
Oh, that's the wrong. It's I. It's supposed to be an I. I went onto another tab.
I
Syndicate.
spelled it, that's why.
Syndicate.
You know what? You know what, Olga? Not bad for your
Yeah.
first try.
It's a really fancy squiggle.
Yeah, that's an
It's
A.
not fancy. That's an A.
I don't have a name for the capital. We could just keep it for Barnhold 2 until then.
Free River something.
Two bears high-fiving.
For every tavern that opens, they have to have a kids menu with crayons and paper drawn.
One of our first
Yep.
buildings can be
But
a
that
tavern.
will make people bring their kids in there.
I want the crayons.
We can have crayons without kids menus.
You're in a position of power. You can order crayons on your own.
I mean,
They
you
bring
literally-
kids in there. It ruins half the fun.
but hear me out, Olga. You have a mage tower. You can literally make your supplies crayons.
My mom's throwing cats at me. The crayon.
Yeah, you're a druid. You can create your crayons.
I don't
This
know
is
what
oils,
makes
right?
crayons.
Wax and color.
Wax.
Oh. Beeswax.
You
Oh!
can make them out of beeswax, yes.
These are the recipes that matter.
Olga
Oh, sorry.
proceeds to start making
River
crayons.
Yawning.
All right.
Well-
So we've created your kingdom.
Yay!
I named
time
your
to
capital
fucking
Three River
ruin it.
Cross.
What?
Time to fucking ruin it.
Hell yeah.
So
Drive
at
this
some
to the
point
ground.
we'll find the kingdom activities and we'll post it in the Discord, and that way you can look
Raro.
through them. Because we're gonna play through a kingdom turn next time.
Series
Okie dokie.
activities, world features, ongoing. What is ongoing? Nothing.
If I click a random event.
Plague. Oh,
We succeeded.
wait, I can click it too.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Maybe it's best you don't, because you failed. Do it again.
Hey, look, we're trained in industry and art.
Now I did it. Yeah.
What? Wait, I want to do it. Where'd you go?
Go to
Oh, well,
ongoing.
let's just start off with this.
Ooh.
What did Olga get?
We're all failing.
Alright, okay, how many kingdoms?
Now
No.
all the frogs are gay. Shit.
That's exactly, including the boggard we met?
Yep. He suddenly is awakened.
Dang.
Oh no.
Can't believe he had a gay awakening thanks to us.
He met Tristan. Dun dun.
Fair.